My name is Ian Johnson. I'm a self-employed barber in a small business. A barbershop is called Ian Michael's Groom Studio. Tried to create an environment that was healthy, clean, comfortable, and modern. People come in, we do all types of, from men's regular cuts to kids cuts to fades and all. Scissor work, facials, hot towel shaves. We try to make people leave, you look good, you feel good, you do good.
Good morning. Hello, my friend.
Good morning. How you doing, Jodi?
I'm good. I love that I've known you for years. Like, when I say years, I've known you since you were a little kid, which is like, and I love that you're an entrepreneur. Tell me about, why did you decide to start a barbershop?
Well, since I was, before you met me, I was jacking up my own head because I didn't want that big afro. But I started doing my brothers and stuff. Nothing spectacular, but I've always, I always wanted to work for myself. I got jobs and it just didn't work out. Problem with authority, I guess I would kind of say, just because I knew what I wanted to do, and cutting hair seemed to be the one thing that I never minded doing. So I went into barber school, and here we go. Fast forward 20 some odd years.
20 years. You've been doing this for 20 years. I feel like you're still that little kid that I've always known. So 20 years, you decided to go to barbershop, but starting a company and being a barber are two different things. So yes. You could have had a chair. You could have had a chair. You could have worked for somebody else. Why did you choose to open up your own shop?
Yeah, like I said, I did do that. I've worked in a few different barbershops and stuff, and it still boiled down to the same thing. Some of you work with different people, and in this field, a lot of people get into it because they want to work their own hours and don't care. I've been in very busy shops, and there first thing in the morning, I can't cut every head, so people are leaving, and I come in and you talk with the owners, and they start siding like, well, don't worry about. I was like, I can't, because even my clients that understood my structure and stuff, like they would see and understand that the structure of different businesses is it's unprofessional, and I'm not taking any jabs at anybody, but I just knew what I could do in the vision I had, so I decided to go back at it for myself. And,
what was the hardest part about owning your own business? Because obviously we are living in a world right now that a lot of people are thinking about, and this is definitely two different questions I'm asking you. Okay. A lot of people right now are working from home. They're seeing the comfort of I have a boss, but I'm kind of my own boss because I'm at home. Maybe it's time for me to start something on my own. So what would you say to people that are considering starting their own business? And what was the biggest frustrations and heartaches, the ups and downs that you went through when you started your business?
Oh yeah. Well, depending on what you're doing, it's the crossing your T's and dotting your I's with the paperwork is really, really, really a tough thing. And if you don't push through or have good advice from good friends, you know what I mean, Jodi, you might not make it all the way through that. You know what I mean? That was a frustration. Another frustration was owning your own business. Sometimes, it's like running in place. You got your overhead, food, clothing, shelter, and maybe a few extra bucks. But the trade-off with the possibilities of growth, like growing your business on your own, to me, that far outweighs it. Hiring the right people that understand your system, because, especially in the type of business I'm in or the type of shop I'm in, it's, people are used to paying rent. It's not, so they're like self-employed themselves too. Okay, sometimes there's a fine line between trying to be the employer / you get it? And so finding the right people is really tough, but I still deal with that to this point, but it's worth it to me. I got great people with me right now that I really love. But to the other part of your question, that's it. That's where I'm at. Okay. I got you. Because you asked a two-part question.
I did, but I'll go back to it. But you just spoke about the people. How are you finding your people? Because right now everyone is talking about how they can't get people to come back to work, whether it's in a coffee shop, whether it is a bakery, whether it's like a barbershop or nail salon, they can't get people to come back to work, even though they can't go inside because they're getting paid more on unemployment. What is that? What kind of community have you like created to have your people say, you know what, I don't care what's happening there, but I'm always going to be dedicated to you?
Well, the same thing I said, as far as I do strictly appointments, at least a day ahead. Like I said, I created an environment where people come down, we talk as friends. It's not the McDonald's of barbershops, you know, like we're sitting down and, you know, so there's a family type aura there. And so when people, the people have working with me, you know, it's the same thing here. So it's more like a family rather than a job. It's because of organization. It's not just fast paced, anybody walking in at any given time. And a lot of that had to do with before Corona, just like, you know, I never liked being in a place where it was just freestyle radical and there's tons of people in there just waiting and stuff. So I think the atmosphere itself, it keeps the clients coming back, and the people who work there, they just enjoy the atmosphere, and it's just a really good thing both ways, you know.
And so I think that's one of the things where most people are trying to they're trying to like figure out right now. And this is the question, going back to that old question where the person that wants to start their own business, they're seeing that they have a skill set. They're seeing that they're definitely passionate about something else. They're thinking about, I want to start a business, but I'm like fearful, or I don't know where to start. So for you, what would you say to these individuals that are considering, maybe this is the time that I start looking, or actually just jump head in, I'm going to start something?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still growing myself, so I don't have a expert's point of view, but you said it yourself, like successful people jump off the mountain and build the airplane on the way down, you know, and others sit there and wait for it to come. It may never come. So like, if you have enough belief in your faith, you know, then, you know, plan it out for a little bit, you know, and you gotta execute. It's all the execution point. And there's no such thing as a failure either. If it doesn't work out the first time, you just find one more way not to do it, you know?
I do love that. I love that a lot. Where are your clients coming from? Like, yes, they have to make appointments, but where are the clients coming from?
Well, like I said, I've been in the business for a long time, and some years back, just because of the anxiety from so many, I started making people make appointments. So now they were personally in my phone. We were communicating and stuff, and then, you know, they got cousins, some friends, and then, or they'll be somewhere and somebody may ask them. Like the work that I do specifically is it's like walking billboards. So, you know, sometimes I mean, I do social media a little bit, and I really, so I'll post my pictures and stuff, and just random ways like that, you know. But also, I'm fortunate enough right now to be inside of a gym. So, you know, people who want to look good, they want to have their body in shape too and stuff. So I'm getting a lot of clientele through there, and then they also have family and friends, and so it's with that part right there, I kind of lucked up, which is really fortunate, you know.
Well, walk me through that. You're at a gym, so most barbershops are not at gyms. How did you end up getting in a gym?
Well, it's funny. I have a client, like I said, right? This is just a client, and we started bartering a while back. So he would pay my gym membership for the year, and I'd give him a cut every other week and a lineup on the in-between weeks. And he definitely made out in that. But to me, I'm like, I have a gym 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it was paid for. Yeah, if I waited out, I'm gonna get that extra money, but it just kind of felt good. He paid it up front. So the third year that we went to go back and do it, we went to the gym. I had just cut his hair. And the owner of the gym was there, and it was his second time. He's like, why is this guy always paying your membership, whatever? So I explained to him. I was like, you know, well, I'm his barber, and, you know, he was like, I love bartering, man. He was like, that's so awesome. He's like, I'd love to have a place here. I got some space over there, pop up. You know, he said, like, this girl who wants it for a salon. This is next. I haven't spoken to her in a while, but, you know, she said she's coming in Monday. So I'm like, oh, he got my feelings up and then just snatched it away. But I'm like, well, let me see the place. So I went and seen it, and it needed a lot of work. It was in a nice building, nice place and stuff, but someone had went in there trying to do something else and just jacked it all up. So I really, really wanted it. I felt like it was mine at that point, but I had to wait till Monday. So we called him Monday at 5, called him at 5 o'clock, said, you know what, I reached out to her, she didn't call back yet, give me a few more hours. So I'm like, he don't want me there. Like, he's trying to give it to her. long story short, I called him back in 2 hours. He's like, she didn't call. She was like, if you want it, you can come down tomorrow. We sign the lease. Like, that's just luck. Like, honestly, luck, you know. And that one just lined up for me because I wasn't looking at the time. It wasn't. I mean, I still wanted to do. I wanted to open my own business, but it just happened like right now. Do you want it or not? You know. And
how has business been prior to what's happening right now? How was business being in the gym? So that partnership, how did that help your business?
A lot. How did it help my business? The location is really nice. It's funny because a lot of people come in there and they're bumping into their family members and friends and people I haven't seen in a long time that have been going there like, oh, you're here. And, you know, they love what I did with the place. I still have problems with people who aren't used to making appointments. That's a little thing, but I'm like, I gotta stick to it because it's like feeding a stray dog. You do the favor one time. I've done it plenty of times. You do the favor, then you like, oh, I'm just checking and seeing, and it's like, well, don't check no more, please. Like, you know, make your appointment. Like, respect my time and I respect yours. You understand what I mean?
So you'd be horrified because I go to Supercut. I mean, I've gone to Supercut for 20 years, yeah. and hearing you, and I'm like, oh, he's not gonna like this, but I'm gonna tell him anyway. Where I go in and my hairdresser books up very quickly, so I have to get there early just to get a spot in the afternoon. She's so popular. But once you have your spot, because like even calling, you can't call because it's always busy. You can't go online. You have to physically get there. So I get there early, stand outside the door, wait, and literally the second they open the door, I'm like, what time does she have available? And I set it up, which is probably anxiety that you don't want to have.
I do get it, and I do my best to do that, especially if it's first time visitors, people who have never been here before. That's kind of a bad thing, so I let them know. I say, listen, I have something, but then, you know, I'm like, maybe 4:30. They're in the gym. I'll come back, and a lot of times they don't. Other times they take my card and they do book and come back. But I do my best to fit somebody in if I do, but if I can. But my days really do book up, and sometimes I'm like, to do that is literally taking my lunch break anytime, and I'm standing on my feet all day. So fortunately enough, my days are really booked, and that's the give or take where I'm right now with one more station left. I'm trying to find somebody maybe fresh out of school, you know what I mean, that is decent, or even if they're not decent, because I could groom them to being better, but you know, they're available for the walk-ins. Like, I just don't have the availability because I'm the owner, but I'm also working there, and I have a lot of clients. So another barber I have is the same way. So I am trying to find somebody to compensate the other end, but just at the time, it really is a tough balance to really even build much more clientele right now until I get somebody free in there, you know.
So you're doing great. You partner with this gym. You're getting clients. You're booked up, and then the world changes. Yeah, the world changes. What has this done for your company, and how? Let's just start. What has this done for your company? Like you are now home.
Yeah.
You are a business owner.
Yes. Yeah, it's it's done a lot of things. Some actually kind of good. Like I've literally had so many people reach out to me. I was like, I miss you so much. I can't wait to get in the box. And this doesn't usually happen. It's usually just, you know, or even people are they're getting home cuts and they're realizing how much more that they.
What do you mean? I can't learn it on Google. What do you mean?
It's funny you say that because I got and this is a friend that I told you, Natalie, the girl that you did your thing with. She actually hit me last night after I was on the phone with you. She was like, you're going to have to walk me through cutting my son's hair on Skype or something. And I'm like, yo, I was like, that's a great idea on being creative. Like, you know, helping your people out through the time. Being like, yo, you know, do my best to guide your hand on the other side of Skype, you know. But on the negative side of things is I'm sure that there's probably clients I've had that maybe we weren't as close and stuff, you know. Throughout this time, I might not see them again. Just, you know, sometimes, and not even nothing personal, but just like, you know, if other shops stayed open for a while, even when they weren't supposed to. And, you know, people, I just might lose some. I haven't seen it yet, to be sure, but it's tough because a lot of times, like I said, you know, you're running in place. You got enough to go, but when your money just stops like that, it's like, whoa, hold up. So in the beginning, like the first couple of weeks, I was doing house calls and taking all the precautions, being very, very safe. and stuff like that. But it still got to the point now where you see the numbers and stuff rising, like, whoa, hold on. I'm not playing these games, you know. But you got to eat food. You have to eat food no matter what. And, you know, then one of my neighbors called the police live, said, oh, there's like 7 people outside and cars lined up. Like I was running the cop. When the police came here, they were even, they was like, I don't know what you did to make your neighbors mad and stuff. And he seen me doing the kind of stuff. And he was like, this is ridiculous. But just at that point, I felt uncomfortable at my own place to even do it. Like opening I would just open my garage. You know, they come in there, I had the chair and stuff in there, but it's really tough. And then fortunately, I mean, I don't know what would happen if not, if that pandemic unemployment hadn't came out. If that didn't come out, I'm like, yeah, I have no choice. Like I have to eat. Like I have to get money, you know what I mean? So it was tough, but you know, praise the Most High that things worked itself out, you know, and I think I'm gonna be able to meet us on the other end of that and be right back to work in a nice environment.
What would you say to the companies that are, or the small businesses that haven't come up with, actually, I love to jump over to question to question. I get so excited when I'm talking to people. I'm like, what have you done during this time? So now, like, you can't cut hair, but what are you doing to keep yourself relevant?
Well, to be relevant, I'm doing a lot of self-care. You know, I made a nice concoction. I'm gonna have to hook you up too, Jodi. My Irish sea moss. But I went in with that. I put the burdock root, black seed oil, flaxseed, chia seed, wheat germ. Like I went all the way in. I made it in this little concoction. I put in my teas and stuff. A little bit more working out than not overdoing it, but a little bit more than I was in the past. Getting back to some books that I needed to finish reading and picked up a couple of new ones. I joined a couple of online webinars for personal Photoshop, Adobe Premiere and stuff, because like you said, and then getting back to it, you know, I wear so many hats trying to do, but it's like I have my cameras, but it's like, you know, learn this photography the right way, you know, like learn how to shoot for yourself, even if nobody else is holding the camera. How you gonna edit here? So kind of like taking it as a school, like a classroom time.
So
you
proud
know?
of you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. But I just went and participated in a barberside certificate program, like it's for the barbershop. It was like something I could do. But I went through that course and got the certificate. It's on things that we practice.
Can you say the class again? What class?
It's a barberside certificate. It's about like sterilization, cleanliness, cleaning, disinfecting, which I practice as a basic standard regardless. But just as something to show the people that, like, I let them know, like, my shop isn't even going to open back up until everybody who works there has this done and completed. Because it opens up more conversation. It's going to make a lot more people aware. Or people seeing it, they're going to be like, I never seen that anywhere else. It just sparked the conversation, and we can hope that something like this wouldn't happen again. People are, you know.
No, I love that, because any opportunity to learn is fantastic. I mean, that's like, I mean, I will take every opportunity to learn, but you going over and beyond, knowing that the anxiety is going to be high. I mean, when we open, the anxiety is going to be high, and people are going to be afraid to come into any like stores or anything. I mean, yes, you're going to have to wear a mask, but people are going to still have that high anxiety. To know that you went out of your way to do this, why?
Well, there's this sickness going around. You understand what I mean? And I work in tight quarters with people. I'm up personal and close, and that's what I was thinking. I'm like, this is going to be tough getting back into the business. And this is what I do anyways. Like a lot of, I believe if you visited my establishment, you would feel a little bit better. But still, I can't go on that. You know what I mean? I was just like, and it kind of shows that I feel like it showed that I was caring. I wanted to know that, and I wanted my clients to know that I will take those precautions to keep you safe as well as myself. And it was pretty much a no-brainer. You know, I'm looking for all types of things I could do to grow, and you know, why not do something that I added on to the business I'm already in. You know.
Beautiful. Let's just say that we're tomorrow, in a perfect world, we go back to the new normal. Everyone's out, everything's open. What does your first day look like?
Oh man, I think it's gonna be crazy. because you know what's funny is I have people still calling me like, are you open yet? Well, I'm like, are you not paying attention to the news and stuff? You know what I mean? But they really can't wait, myself included. Like, you see all of this back, I can't wait to get to my stylist, you know what I mean, and keep me tight. I'm going to see her as soon as possible. But I know that there are some people who are, you're never going to be able to sneeze and cough again in society without people being like, oh, don't you? Like, I'm going home. But a lot of people, I think it's gonna take some people to readjust and come back around. But I don't foresee personally, and I have a different kind of business though. I'm one-on-one, and particularly with people. It's not like a product that they don't see a face and stuff like. So one-on-one, like I have established relationships and stuff, and I feel like if anybody does go out, they're gonna come see their friends and their close ones first. So I didn't plan it that way, but in all honesty, so for other businesses, I don't know. I really don't have understanding. I think it's gonna take a while for people to come back out, myself included. You know, like I haven't went to Walmart in a while because it just feels weird in there. You see everybody with the mat, and then you leave there and you're like, you got anxiety for like 3 days. Like, yo, did I touch? I'm like, I don't want to. So I could just imagine when it opens.
Well, it's funny that you say that. I went to go visit my best friend after. It was week number 7. I went down to Cape to go visit my best friend, and her kids hadn't left the house. So we went to a garden center because we're going to go, because I never went inside of her house. We were in the backyard, and we went to the garden center. The kids were excited, like, Auntie Jody's there, let's go to the garden center. And when I see, an 11-year-old and a 6-year-old, and the anxiety on their faces to see people with a mask, and they were like, when I tell you they were so close to me, they're like, they were so freaked out. And I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. I could see how, we as an adults are freaked out. And then you're seeing little kids and we're like, I don't want to leave the house ever again. So yes, you're right. I think that more people will come to you more than you think, because people like the looking good makes you feel good. And that is one of those moments where you make people look good. And so if they can feel good, they feel like they can combat so much. But if they don't look good, it is what it is.
And it's funny too, because I hate saying it, but people have told me for a long time. Like, I've been in my business, and before I know it, I'm in a conversation where somebody's telling me like their personal life and stuff. And I'm sitting here and I'm just like, whoa, like I'm starting to feel embarrassed. Like, when are they going to realize that they're saying too much? But I never realized that we've been friends for years. I just wasn't fully there. Like, so, you know what I mean? To get back in the barbershop and sit with your barber, like, it's also like a normal place to be. It's therapy. It's funny. Like, I'm looking online right now, like a psychology class or soft skills, the art of listening, because there is a lot more that I offer people without even knowing. But I'd love to harness it and hold it and be able to communicate that much better with the people. Like pay attention to it. It's a natural thing, but when you know it as a system, you could use it for good or bad. My intention definitely is good, but like I really want to know that, because I'm so off sometimes with reading things, or like I said, people are talking with me and I'm like, wow, they really feel that comfortable. But I made them feel that way for a long time, So
I always say, like, a bar, like for me, like, being a marketing strategist, I hear a lot of personal, because I deal with personal branding. A bartender, the hairdresser, definitely. It is, people need that outside person from their family and their friends to talk to and feel like and it's 100% totally okay to go to a therapist, but sometimes people don't feel comfortable going to a therapist, and their barber, their hairdresser, their bartender are the therapist, and they are the person, like, I have someone to talk to and makes me feel better. So I'm happy that you're around for that. So that's
thank you, Jodi.
That's perfect for everyone that you sit down with. Last question: if there's a ask out there, like, what would be something that you'd like to ask the masses, like whether it's for your customers or to your customers, for you, for your business? What's the ask that you'd want the universe to hear from you?
I would ask that everybody really take a good, hard, long look at what has just happened and we've been through, and do your best. Like, now I'm not just talking about washing your hands and disinfecting your hands, but all the way around. Like, whatever you do, being cautious of the safety and health of others, and pay attention to them dollars. Like, I could never, Ramit Sethi, he got a book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, and this really forced me towards getting into that book, because I was like, every dollar you make should be an employee for you. You know what I mean? And feel like I do all right, but that wasn't the case with me. So I would just say everybody, you know, a lot more healthcare, being cautious about others, and just educate yourself so that we can move forward and prevent something like this from happening again. And if it does happen again, at least you're set in a place where you might be able to manage, hold it down for a little while.
I love it. I adore you. I mean, I've known you for 30 years.
I'm not that old. What you talk about? I'm 17. So 13. So almost 30. I'm 29 years.
So for me, I mean, I said this at the beginning. I love seeing my babies out there that are doing great work, that you have your companies, you're asking for help when you need help, and not even bothered by. We're like, I know you're going to give me a hard time, but I know who I'm coming to for help, which I do appreciate that. And I love that.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Because you're like a sister, aunt, mother, cousin type thing. You know what I mean? You won't let me get away with it, but it's all out of love. Like you giving me great advice, and a lot of me being here is from you and advice that you've given me. You know what I mean? So you helped groom me from a shorty. You was ahead of me when we was younger. CIT director, right? You didn't play no games. You send me home when I messed up and let me come back next time.
That's right, everyone. Ian was my CIT when I was a CIT director, which was like CIT, counselor in training, at a summer camp. But the thing is, being an entrepreneur is hard. Getting engaged with your customers, hiring people, overhead, living in the world that we live in right now. I mean, you're doing it. I mean, you're doing it very well. And self-care, which is one of the best things that you just said out of this, where self-care, using this time wisely, not just to learn new things, not just to keep the company going, but to take care of yourself, because a lot of people are not taking care of themselves. They're really, really not doing well. And so to take a step back and learn new things. And I love that you promoted that book, which of course I'm going to have to go back and ask you what that book is again. But
okay, I got you.
but I love it. And so I appreciate you. I love you. I adore you. And when this is all over, I'm going to come back to all the people that I spoke to, and I want to hear what the first day looked. I mean, literally, it'll be a 5-minute, tell me what your first day looked like, because I think that we're all going to be curious to find out what everyone's first day is, because we don't really know what it's going to be like.
Well, same thing back to you. Like, you taking your time to set this up and get out there to listen to people's stories. That's motivational to me as well. You know what I mean? Like this. Thank you. You know what I mean? I love that you did that.
God, I love it. It's just, it makes me smile. I mean, people ask me all the time. They're like, "How are you doing?" I go, "I'm doing great." And they're like, "How is that possible?" I'm like, you know what? I'm helping my clients, and I'm hearing great stories from the people that I believe in, that I watch. And I'm very lucky to be around innovators and small businesses and startups every single day. And I get to see you. Even if I don't talk to you, and this is a great catch up with everybody, I get to see what you're doing, and that makes me so proud and so happy. And I get inspired by you guys too, even though you don't know it, but that keeps me going to do what I do.
Hey, well, it works two ways, Jodi. It works two ways. You know, I appreciate the conversation we had today.
Thank you, Ian. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you very much for talking, and I can't wait to talk to you again.
All right, Jodi, take it easy.